Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Chocolate Travels. I'm here with Johonny from Aroko Chocolate, and they're based in Italy. So we're going to learn all about what they do. So thank you, Johonny. Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Hello, everyone.
We want to learn the beginnings. So I'm going to ask you, was cacao and chocolate always a part of your life? You grew up in Venezuela. So how tied were you to cacao and chocolate growing up?
Well, I wasn't very tied to cacao because I was born in Caracas, in the capital, and there's mainly big city
City life.
metropolis,
Yeah.
Exactly, city life. But however, the cacao is always something that's entangled in Venezuelan culture. From when you're very small, people always tell you, in Europe they use Venezuelan cacao because it's the best. But almost no one makes Venezuelan chocolate
in Venezuela.
And however, we noticed that also while migrating and also traveling around the world, we always noticed that the hot chocolate that we used to drink when we were small was very good. When you take it, you put it near to other hot chocolates.
Okay.
That's the flavors that you keep in your mind forever,
Right. And what other kind of chocolates did you have growing up? Was it more like American candy bars, or what sort of chocolate did you have there?
Okay. In Venezuela, there were a couple of big companies. There's Chocolates El Rey. There's one of the few that sells. They got farms. They grow their own cacao, and they work like a bean to bar industrial level, but very good chocolate. There were also other companies that were acquired by big companies from outside, and they suffered the rebranding and the mixing of some formulas, but it was a commercial grade chocolate anyway. And growing up, the Venezuela was very close to the States. People used to go to Miami, and of course, a lot of candy bars and stuff like that.
Come back home. And what brought you and your wife to Italy and to start making chocolate there?
Well, okay, the story is well, for most of there's a lot of Venezuelans that have gone away from Venezuela in the last 20 years because of the political reasons or basically, my wife was very scared to live in Caracas because it was like 10 years ago. There was a lot of crime, a lot of stuff, and she was very scared to live there. And we decided to migrate. As I told you before, my father was from Italy, and my mother is Italian. So I already came up every year for Christmas. I was here. So we already had a house. It was a very easy transition. If you go to somewhere where you don't have to pay rent immediately, you can take stuff easy. Yeah, it helps a lot, especially when she didn't speak Italian when she arrived, so she had to learn everything from zero. It was very useful to have that option. Also, like a little bit of family that helps you at the beginning. Was the easiest choice for us. And then we started working, making different jobs. But every time we spoke with anyone, every time we meet someone, they told us, but when you came to Italy, Venezuela is very is nicer and stuff. and however, beside the political reasons, we noticed that we'll always be the Venezuelans around the, even if we're both Italian, we'll always be the Venezuelan. So we wanted to say, okay, we cannot detach from Venezuela. So let's make that bond even stronger. And we
Okay.
decided to start. The first idea was to make pralines and chocolate products in general, chocolatiera with bar and servicing. This was about in 2018 that we started with the idea. Then what we did is we wanted to we had another business and we had to sell it, and we sell it just before COVID. And we wanted to start right there, but we couldn't because my father died, and so it had to be delayed. And even it was a family situation, it saved us from starting at the beginning of COVID. So we had to put everything on stall until COVID ended, sort of. And
Okay.
and we started last year, 2021. We started officially the brand, in the starting making products. Last year was almost all the year prepping the laboratory and stuff, and making all the
But
bureaucracy that there
why
is in
did you
Italy.
guys decide on chocolate? Did you have a background in culinary? Why did you choose
No,
that?
but we both love chocolate. We wanted to start something that we loved, that we wanted, so that we both were not only proud because we knew that Venezuelan chocolate was sort of different, but also while in COVID, we did a master's on, let me translate it because it was made in the Universidad Central de Venezuela, in the Central University of Venezuela.
Okay.
They have like a master in science and technology of cacao and chocolate.
Ah.
So we it was online for the first time. We roll up, and then that's where we changed the idea. We had the idea to make pralines and make chocolate and stuff, but when we started to know more about cacao, how it was, the fermentation, all the processes that come before,
Yeah.
we fell in love of the Venezuelan cacao, because we started we start to understand what it was. So it wasn't our idea only that the chocolate that we remember as kids was very good. It's because at that time maybe they used Azur del Lago for doing a particular chocolate brand used it was from that zone, and they used that kind of cacao. So we were eating bean to bar from the beginning, but we didn't know it.
Right. Very nice. Very nice. So you talked a little bit about kind of starting kind of around COVID. So that was a challenge. But what were some other challenges that you faced starting your business? What would you say were the hardest challenges?
Well, no, I was talking about this about a couple of days ago, um, because we live in Italy, and in Italy the rules about making anything related to food is very, very stringent. It's very, very tough. Like the having no no
You mean like the
the
paperwork
typical
and the
not only paperwork. For example, they won't give you, they won't allow you officially to work if you have like the typical winnower with the shop vac, and
oh
you have to have a machine with the European certification.
wow, those are expensive.
You could so everything is more expensive. You have there are some ways to have like for example, in almost all Europe, you can make the chocolate at home, and you just make a declaration, some paperwork, declaring that that's a product made at home.
Mm.
In Italy, that law exists, but they want you to have like a different kitchen. So you have to build a second kitchen at home,
Really?
which is irrational.
What's the point? Yeah.
Or you have to have a lot of controls. It became we wanted to start at home, but we saw that it was very very challenging, and that's the main difference with the rest of Europe and the States and everywhere else. Where you say, I know I bought the small melanger and we're already making products for commerce. It's very very different here. That was one of the main challenges. And the second challenge was last year with provisioning of the packaging, because there was no paper, there was no plastic, and we wanted to start selling or producing the finished products at this time, let's say June, July, and everything arrived almost at December. So when we went to the resellers, they told us, oh, we already bought Easter, so
right.
come next year.
Wow.
A couple of them, a couple of people believed in us, bought small batches, and that's where, and we're waiting for the next cycle to start. And that's been the hardest, because you have to keep paying everything.
Yeah, exactly. You're ready to go, ready to sell, but nobody's buying. You still have bills to pay and everything. Yep.
And they told me, wait until it's here. And meanwhile, we're being participating on different awards and stuff. That has helped us a bit to penetrate on the
to become more known as well, and to show the retailers.
Of course, yeah. Also, that's another challenge that we have is that we decided to start with the two rarest cacao, because we work with Porcelana and Chuao. We wanted to get them from the correct geographical zone and get it certified if possible.
What do you mean by the correct geographical zone?
Okay, for example, the cacao, it doesn't suffer, let's say, as much as the grapes of the terroir. So if you grab a plant of Porcelana and you take it to another place, genetically and maybe the flavor profile will still be that one of Porcelana. But if that plant is originally from a place, we want it to be from there. We want it to be grown for the people of that. The Chuao. The Chuao is a small town in the middle of a national park. We want it to be from that place. Not the cacao clone that was taken all over the place.
Okay. Fair enough.
And that's important because we in this moment doing this, we help those communities.
Right. Well, I guess it makes sense because those communities for many years developed that cacao. Maybe they selected for it, and so you want to reward that region that grew that cacao, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. And it says on your website that you want to share Venezuelan cacao with Italians. So what are some qualities and attributes of Venezuelan cacao? How do you convince Italians that Venezuelan cacao is, really high quality, or do they already know that over there?
Okay, the resellers, they mostly know that the Venezuelan cacao is good. Actually, most of them, the resellers that we work, they start, but you start with starting with those is very easy because it is high quality. Yes, but you have to communicate to the public. And with the public, it was mainly explaining because Venezuelan cacao is the peculiarity of the Venezuelan cacao is that it has a lot of acriollado. Are mostly beans that are totally white or have a lot of white beans. And the blends, however, are like a light pink. So there have no tannins. To when you roast it, they don't become sour. They don't have it's very rare that you have a Venezuelan cacao with astringency, unless it's a very, very southern Venezuela cacao that's closest to the Amazon.
Okay.
But and when they taste it, when people taste our chocolate, they notice immediately. I had a lot of people that tell me, no, I don't eat dark chocolate because it's very sour. I don't like the taste. And I give him a 72% porcelana. And ate this is almost like a milk chocolate.
Wow.
And they ate it and they cannot believe that it's a 72%.
Yeah, that's very rewarding when consumers, you can give them dark chocolate, especially when you can convert people who don't like dark chocolate to like your chocolate. It's very rewarding.
Yeah, most of the people here, well, we live in a country where in the 90s the publicity on television was more milk, less cacao. For chocolate more.
Yeah.
Because they were promoting that it wasn't as sour as
right. Yeah, but if they have a good cacao, it doesn't have to be too sour or too bitter or anything.
Actually, to many people, I've given the nips of porcelana, and they taste like brownie.
Wow.
Immediately.
Very nice. Where in Italy are you located again?
We are in a small town called Riese Pio Decimo, that is very close to Venice, on the northern east side of Italy.
Okay. Very nice. And the people there, are they open to trying this new cacao, or are they more hesitant to, because I know Italians can be very married to brands, they like specific Italian brands, are the people where you are very excited to try this new chocolate that you have?
Okay, Italians have a very good thing that since a very small age, they teach you to think in what you're eating. So that's why Italians go outside Italy and they don't like the food because they get the cheese and they can feel that it's different. So when you tell someone that, no, trust me, this is a very different kind of chocolate, out of curiosity they can try it. They are very open to try it, and then you got them because the product talks for itself.
Right.
And regarding brands, the main issue almost everywhere is that bean to bar and being promoted as bean to bar is not very known.
Right.
So when I tell the people, no, I bring the cacao from Venezuela and I selected myself. I roasted. You sell that idea of artisanality that here everyone loves. They're very curious of trying what can I do.
Right. Wonderful. It's nice to hear.
People, no, that's very, very.
I think people. I'm like that too. I can be very, I'm not picky, and it's like, I don't like this, I don't like that, but, I like to analyze what I'm eating, and be honest about how the flavors are, how good it tastes. It seems like in Canada, especially, people just eat anything sometimes, and it's surprising what they eat. So it's nice to hear that the people there appreciate.
Yeah, no, here people enjoys food. There's rare that you find in Italy people that they tell something like eat just to fill the belly.
That's a good,
put stuff in.
That's a good point.
And that's very, very, very good because that makes that, except on very touristic places, you get a high level of anything. I've always told my wife, here in Italy, it's very hard to eat bad.
I'm assuming you're the only bean to bar maker there where you are in your town.
Yeah, well, where we are, yes. There are other two close by, relatively, on the Trentino zone. More on here in Veneto, I'm pretty sure we're the only ones. And in Trentino, there are two that you probably have heard of them, Caruna and the other guys from near there, it's 58 Chocolate, something like that. And like bean to bar. There are a couple of places that are starting to make their own bean to bar to try to follow the trend, but the core business is pasticceria, like
yeah, there's a lot
cakes
of
and stuff.
pastry shops, bakeries, or chocolatiers now. They want to have a line of bean to bar, which is good if they do it for the right reason. Sometimes they have it just to have it, right? And it's not very good.
Exactly. No, that's exactly. I'm very, very. I look the catalogs of everyone, and everyone has the same, more or less the same cacaos, the same origin, those that declare the origin, and you understand very fast some seller came and went everywhere and sold the same cacao to everyone.
Right.
That month, you see everyone having the same
So
stuff.
But
at the end of the day, it's good if they up the level of the chocolate that people eat.
Right. Yeah. If they're doing a good job, if it's good cacao, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But the problem is sometimes when they do it just to have a product and it's not very good, then you have a problem there, because then the consumer gets confused between your really high quality chocolate made bean to bar, because they say, well, that's bean to bar too. But they don't understand that maybe it's not a really good cacao. Right.
No, and also many of people that do the extra stuff, they maybe lose money on the bean to bar because they don't consider that chocolate can be sold at the right price, because they maybe recover with the cake or with the coffee.
Right, that's a good point.
Instead, we'd only make the chocolate with hard to get cacao. We make a lot of work on the packaging, explaining why you should pay what you pay for a chocolate bar.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, is reprogramming the way people think about chocolate flavor, but also the price of chocolate and why.
Yeah, we're also fortunate that Italy is the place in the world where there are more wine sellers, maybe, or producers in the world. So it's sort of easy if we start to make the connection between wine and chocolate, because they start to understand that Truao is like Pinot, like Porcelana is like, you start making those connections, and they start to understand, oh, there's different cacao. Cacao can be different every year. It's very important. Not everything is the same. Not all cacaos, even if roasted, give you the same color in the chocolate bar, and that's very, very important, because if they're able to make that connection, it's much easier to understand why it could be. It's not the cooking wine that you get. It's the Pinot that you take to your when someone invites you to dinner.
Right. Yeah, that would be amazing if Italians start bringing your chocolate bars to someone's house instead of a bottle of wine. That would be nice.
We have a couple of friends that already are making the gifts, Christmas gifts, and also Father's Day gifts.
Yeah. But it's nice to even change the culture. Like, you bring chocolate and you sit around and you guys eat it together and talk about the flavor, just like you do with wine. Yeah. So Venezuela grows many varieties, sub-varieties of cacao. You can find a lot of different cacao there. So I think you mentioned it earlier, but let's just say it again. Why did you choose the cacao that you chose for your business right now?
Well, when we started to study cacao, uh, the teachers always mentioned like the rarest cacao or the finest cacao, why they were prestigious, and we started to say, well, the Chuao cacao is one of the most famous in the world. And at that time, they start making the origin certification. That was very important for us because I could write on my tablet is a cacao DOCC, denomination of origin. And that was one of the first that we wanted to. And then we started to think. We knew that the flavor profile of the chuao is very fruity, and we learned that the flavor profile of the acriollado is more of the guasare, the porcelana, and some good quality of the lago used to be more nutty, more milky, more creamy. And the main idea was to make two chocolate bars of the highest quality with with very very similar or the same quantity of cacao and same roasting, same everything, and show people that there were two different products.
Yeah.
So that so we decided for the porcelana. We found the porcelana. It's very rare to find. We were able to get a couple of sacks and a couple of chuao, and we started from there.
Okay. Is cacao an important aspect of Venezuelan culture? So you grew up in the capital, in the city. So obviously cacao and chocolate is different for you guys than it is for people growing up in these other regions. So how would you answer that question? What would you say? Is cacao culture very important in Venezuela? Or does it depend?
Well, okay, cacao is definitely a very important product from Venezuela, and it's very, very bonded with the culture. You have to imagine that people with money and rich people, used to be called gran cacaos because the back on the colony days, the people that had the cacao farms were the ones that were rich, first exporters. So that term, for example, it remained. Till today, people use that. Maybe not as often, but it's something that you tell and people instantly recognize it, like there's someone important, it's someone with money, or someone like that. That I can tell you from when we were there. But I've noticed in the couple 5 years, even 10 years, last 10 years, that there's been a movement, maybe because of the crisis, because the Venezuela before the 1920s was one of the biggest exporters of cacao, and cacao was the main exportation product from Venezuela. Then they found the oil, and they let the farms go away. Then they focused on oil.
Right.
And now I believe that because of the crisis of the last couple of years, people is starting to seek other options. Seek what you have there, because as my wife said, there was the cacao was there before us, is now, and will be hopefully
right
for a lot of time. So the land grows is a land with everywhere that you can grow cacao. So it's like a plant. Instead of having a cherry tree like we have here, people has a cacao or an avocado tree.
Okay.
And that's why I believe it's very, very entangled with the Venezuelan culture, especially lately, because there been a lot of people that has started to grow cacao. Farms are starting to be replanted because
Mm,
they notice that they can have uh, the possibility to export it and have and get money from that. Like
okay.
a new business that has starting to grow up a lot of in the last few years.
That's nice to hear. And does coming from a cacao growing region impact the values of your business, do you think?
I do believe okay, we decided to work only with Venezuelan cacao because we said we're both from Venezuela. We were just finished we had just finished the master, so Venezuelan cacao is the best. But it's not because maybe genetically it's very excellent product, but they have problems on the fermentation, on the
Mm,
drying,
mm,
the post harvesting process is not as advanced as in Ecuador or Peru.
mm,
But the genetics hold
mm,
even if they don't make that great work. And having studied that, for us it's like a very as I told you, wherever we go, we're the Venezuelans, so we have to carry that flag
mm.
of the Venezuelan cacao very as high as we can. So for us, it's very important. We decided to get the two reds cacao at the beginning, and we want to expand always with Venezuelan cacao, so people can understand that each beach in Venezuela can give you a different flavor profile, for example.
Mm, mm. What would you say is the style of your chocolate? Some, a lot of people, they see chocolate as sort of an art form, right? So every chocolate maker does it differently. How would you describe your style? What would you say?
Well, we try to make like a degustation chocolate or meditative chocolate, something. One of the first things that we decided to do was to create like this refillable
Okay,
bag.
yes.
So that gives you the idea that you don't have to munch it very quickly,
Uh-huh.
that you can save it for later.
Okay.
It's like a little treasure. So we want to like to be a sort of a smart purchase, a thought purchase, and not only a visual purchase.
Okay.
And and that's one of the main stuff that we want to communicate is that you have to enjoy your chocolate and not munch it. Enjoy
Right.
it. Sit down with
Think
some
about it.
friends with some
Yeah.
rum. If Venezuelan, even better.
Beautiful.
Uh, and that's the sort of a chocolate that we want to make. So something to share, something to
Right. Not just a quick snack, something to really take your time, sit down and really, really enjoy.
yeah. Also because this kind of cacao have like a very long. They evolve a lot for a very long time on your
Mm,
palate. So it's very nice also to sit down and have neighbors that tell me, "Oh, after 35 minutes, I still feel it."
very
And it's
nice.
different. It's continues to change. Yeah, it will continue to change for a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chocolate is so complex, even more than wine, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, culturally, we're 50 or 100 years behind. You know.
Definitely. And what are some of you're still very new. Do you have any future goals, ideas where you want to see your business headed? And do you have other products other than chocolate that you want to start developing?
So we currently make four products. We have the two chocolate bars, the Porcelana 72%. Let me show it to you.
Mm,
This one
mm,
and the Chihuahua.
beautiful.
This one.
Nice.
Yeah, we also work a lot of on the packaging. I'll tell you later. Let me finish
Sure, sure.
And we also make two spreadables. One of hazelnuts with cacao,
Okay.
with no without milk, and because it's very requested, a pistachio spread. It doesn't have cacao, but it's very good.
People in Italy like
Um,
pistachio, so
yeah, no, but that's we found a very good recipe and everyone's loved it.
mm.
Um, we want to one of the challenges now thinking about it when having only 4 products and mainly two the chocolate bar that are the most interesting for our clients. They want more products because it's easier for them or having a box like a mixed match of different chocolate bars. And we're developing another two single origins.
Okay.
Azur del Lago, and another one is an Okumare. The Okumare is a blend of
That's a nice
Okumare
one.
71 and 77.
Mm.
And we're making some products especially for Christmas, like limited editions.
Okay.
I'm making some aromatizations and stuff like that. And one of our goals is opening our shop. So the pizzeria had the start of the pizzeria had like a bar,
Okay.
like a small bar. So we left it almost intact. We took everything off and we'll make the shop there with the. You can
Exciting.
see the people working. We can see us working inside, and
Yeah.
you can purchase it.
Very nice.
And that's for the moment. That's it.
Okay. And what did you want to tell us about the packaging? You said you wanted to talk more about the packaging.
No, for example, we work a lot in the packaging because, as you see, for example, the chuao in the indigenous language meant from water or of water. So everything is blue. Everything is one of the things that I was telling you about the wine is that often, and most people have probably happened, you go to a wine shop and you have the specialist that brings you the bottle and explains you and tell you this is from, I don't know, from Napa or from Italy or from France. And he tells you everything. You think, oh, it's great. You took it home or to a friend's house. And when you have to, you open it and say, well, it's a great bottle. And that's everything that you remember. Maybe you remember the place because it's written on the label. So we wanted to make a very nice description of what you're getting.
Okay.
Like a first justification, let's say, of the price. Then we wanted to put this is a chuao, that's the harvest from the ladies from Chuao. So they sing the song. We wanted to put the song. We wanted to make like a technical explanation of the chocolate that you're eating and a brief history of Chuao, of the city, of the town.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And
so
also,
it's like an experience for the buyer because there's so much to read and learn.
And you can keep it as a gift,
Yeah.
And of course, being to bar, we have to have the processes.
Yeah. Very nice. Beautiful.
For example, the blue was chosen because chuao is called chuao. It meant water. Porcelain is red because the indigenous people from where this cacao comes are the Guajiros, and the most of the art that they do, they work with red, with yellows, with black. So we're trying to incorporate also that on the packaging, and try to communicate it to people because it's like some extra stuff that.
No, it's a lot of thought went into that and a lot of the connection to the cacao and where it comes from. So there's it's you enjoy the chocolate, you enjoy the layers of the flavor, but then on top of that, you have all those layers of the information and the connection. So it makes it a really, really nice experience. That's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Well, what is the best way for people to connect with you, to purchase your products? Where do you ship right now? How can people try your chocolate?
Okay, to connect with us mainly for in Instagram.
Okay.
Aroko Chocolate. We have also the Facebook page, but we don't use it as much. The main tool is Instagram.
Mm.
We have our website. Is also arocochocolate.com. And there's our shop. And from our shop, you can theoretically ship everywhere. We have to always control before shipping if, for example, for the States, we have to ask for FDA permission, so it takes longer, but it can be done. Obviously, now that it's summer, it's harder. So we have shipped like last week to Paris, and there was no issues.
Okay.
But outside Europe, it's harder on summer. During winter, I believe we'll be able to ship everywhere.
Wonderful.
We manage it. We want to make people taste our chocolate, and there's no problem.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Johonny. It was really, really nice to talk to you. And
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing more about what you're going to create with the Venezuelan cacao. So all the best.
Thank you very much. All the best to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Download the free Bean to Bar app to connect with incredible chocolate makers from around the world. Also be sure to visit beantobarworld.com, your portal for all things fine chocolate, virtual tastings, free learning resources, research, and much more. Subscribe to the newsletter to stay in touch and donate to the free app and free resources here. Contact me for any chocolate-related questions you may have.